After months of reports, Sony has finally announced that it's rebranding PlayStation Plus into a tier system in June. While the name remains the same, the service has evolved with some new additions. So how does it compare to its competition? Let's take a closer look at how it's not only evolved from its initial form, but how it also differs from Xbox Game Pass and Nintendo Switch Online. Let's get the obvious out of the way. It'll be easiest to compare PlayStation Plus to Xbox Game Pass given the timing of PlayStation's announcement and the way Game Pass has revitalized Xbox. While the two are very similar on paper, there are some stark contrasts that don't make this necessarily a one-to-one comparison, and those differences help showcase the varying strategies at work. PlayStation Plus's rebranding will broadly consolidate the original PlayStation Plus service and PlayStation Now, Sony's cloud gaming service. Xbox Game Pass is primarily billed as a Netflix-like approach that delivers access to a wide library of first and third-party games you can play on Xbox hardware. Microsoft would then expand on that idea with the release of PC Game Pass for Windows 10 computers and Game Pass Ultimate. The latter aligns more closely with the PlayStation Plus rebranding, as it combines both versions of Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold into one service, with additional incentives like EA Play, which also comes with Game Pass PC, a gaming subscription service with games developed and published by Electronic Arts, and access to Xbox Cloud Gaming. The new PlayStation Plus is split into 3 tiers: Essential, Extra, and Premium. You still have access to the features previously seen in the original PS Plus, such as multiplayer access, free monthly games, discounts, and cloud storage with Essential. The Extra tier adds onto it up to 400 PS4 and PS5 games from both first and third parties, with everything available to download, while the Premium tier adds 340 more games on top of that, with PS3 games via cloud streaming and a library of PS1, PS2, and PSP games, plus time-limited game trials. Essential is basically just your usual PlayStation Plus subscription, but the other, more expensive tiers add additional incentives that both bring in the technology of Sony's lesser-used PlayStation Now and inch closer to a Game Pass-like library of offerings. Depending on the offerings, that middle tier, Extra, may be the closest thing to a Game Pass one-to-one, but that certainly will be dependent on what games are included, how often new games are added, and whether anything might come from third parties to the service on day one. Sony has not yet laid out its full plans in this regard. Sony's service has a few notable differences though. While it seems Sony is enticing those to subscribe by offering access to over 400 additional modern games with the promise of some newer titles like Returnal and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales anticipated to come at launch, there is no plan for new first-party releases such as God of War Ragnarok and Marvel's Wolverine to arrive the same day as they are officially released. In contrast, Microsoft has taken a radically different approach on these two fronts, where the company pledged that all first-party games will be launching day one on Game Pass, which has led to Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5 seeing huge launch player bases. As for Sony's reasoning for not adopting this policy, PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan told GameIndustry.biz that the level of investment that we need to make in our studios would not be possible, and we think the knock-on effect on the quality of the games that we make would not be something that gamers want. The comparison between PlayStation Plus and Nintendo Switch Online is similar to that of PS Plus and Xbox Game Pass in that there are some clear similarities but also marked differences. Nintendo Switch Online's focus is on the necessity for players to access online multiplayer features and the option to access and play retro games. Similar to PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass, Nintendo Switch Online has 2 tiers, the standard Switch Online and the newly released Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack. Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack's most notable difference is twofold: the addition of more historical games from the Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis, as well as the bundling of DLC for first-party games that can otherwise be purchased standalone. Rather than paying $24.99, Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack subscribers get paid DLC such as Animal Crossing New Horizons, Happy Home Paradise, and the Mario Kart 8 Booster Course Pass as part of their subscription. While Game Pass does offer some older games, the back catalog of legacy games is clearly more a focus as a marquee offering for the new PS Plus tiers, as well as Nintendo Switch Online. And though Nintendo has taken slowly to updating its library of classic games monthly, we currently don't know the cadence with which Sony will or won't add to the PlayStation Plus library. If we compare the pricing between PS Plus and Game Pass, PlayStation Plus has the most expensive annual plan, costing $119.99 annually for the premium tier. But that's a bit of a technicality, as Xbox Game Pass Ultimate doesn't actually offer a yearly plan. It is only available as a monthly subscription, so $14.99 a month for 12 months costs $179.88. The graph shown on your screen is a full breakdown of the cost of everything depending on how you choose to pay. As you can see, the price varies depending on how long you're willing to commit to, but even the time commitment allowed still varies between the platforms. Despite all the information Sony has shared on how the PS Plus rebrand will work, there are some gaps and drawbacks from the PlayStation rebranding, and it certainly signals a shift by Sony that is aware of the increasing importance of subscription services in gaming, but it's not taking a one-to-one approach to either of its competitors, and so the proof of whether Sony's gambit works will come from how its subscriber numbers change. Hopefully, Sony will share more information as June draws near, but what do you think of the PlayStation Plus rebranding? Are you planning to subscribe? And if so, which tier? Let us know in the comments, and for everything else PlayStation, stick with IGN.